A duel of Pablos spearheaded action at Charlotte Motor Speedway last time out. But the second half of the season is spearheaded by one of the ultimate tracks on the iRacing service. This is one of the ultimates because every iRacer has driven this in one way or another. And while everyone now drives the Grand Prix layout with multiple chicanes and extensions, tonight is about the classic. 1 left, 6 right. And average speed is the name of the game. This is round 6 of the Simify MX5 World Sim Series, and it is live here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Lakeville, Connecticut, and Lime Rock Park, the track that's a stone's throw from New York State and Massachusetts, and in the shadow of Mount Washington. My name is Jake Sperry, and alongside me in the booth is Robert Covey. Joe Peak is calling the shots in the director's chair tonight, broadcasting the images on cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Now, 95% of people here know every in and out around this circuit, but there's always a new notch that can be learnt by going over this place with a fine-tooth comb. Let's take a meticulous look with our GSRC track guide.
Welcome to Lime Rock Park. Located in the northwest corner of Connecticut, this unassuming little track has garnered a surprisingly passionate following. Its unique aspects create a circuit not only full of character, but consistently challenging even to modern race cars. While it has 4 different possible layouts, on the classic version, only 7 corners are split along a 1.5 mile track with just a single one of them turning left. Though simple in appearance, most drivers will tell you that trying to be fast here is anything but. The run down the front stretch into Big Bend offers pretty much the only viable passing spot, but it's a double apex right-hander which lures drivers into taking it too fast. The uphill is also scary quick considering its lack of runoff and can sometimes cause cars to get airborne over its crest. Then, on the opposite end, the downhill sends cars diving into a quick sweeper which requires a good exit speed in order to defend or attack back into the first corner. Modern racing mostly uses the more recently built chicanes, especially at the uphill. But one of the most unusual facts about this track is that the races are never held on Sunday. Due to a legal agreement with a nearby church, events must take place on Fridays and Saturdays. The confines around this place are tight, the passing opportunities are few, and mistakes are usually punished with race-ending damage. With most other road courses now being built with upwards of 3 and 4 miles in length, this track stands out. But in an age of multi-million-dollar facilities and flashy buildings, this quaint small circuit manages to keep fans coming back with its intimate and grassroots setting.
The one church that makes sure that racing happens on a Saturday instead of a Sunday is Lime Rock Trinity Church. And it is a trinity, Robert, when you look around this circuit of keeping momentum up, holding your line, and being patient for the overtakes. The key to the races today.
Yeah, there's a lot of room and a lot of places for overtakes, but if you try and do it at the wrong moment, it's going to punish you hard. It's going to take your car out, and you're going to be a very sad person come the end of the race.
You certainly are, and you can certainly sense that with only one left-hander and that no-name straight, this is going to be a fast circuit here today. There's no chicane before the uphill right-hander. They'll be taking that flat, and they'll be actually getting air over the top in these Miatas. They'll reach West Bend. That's going to be a very tough overtaking zone because they've lost that extension, that heavier braking zone, Robert, that they have there. That's a sweeping, about 80-degree right-hand bend.
Yeah, West Bend is the main portion of the track where you see a lot of action, a lot of drivers trying to be brave, a lot of drivers trying to be cautious, and you just got to be set up for whoever's in front of you, whoever's behind you, how they're going to take that corner, because you can ruin your race really quick if you're not aware and you don't have your hands on that wheel tight.
You certainly are going to have to be aware. This is Division 3 to start things off. This is split into 3 divisions, Division 3, Division 2, and Division 1. Let's talk about where we are today. This is round 6 of 10. All drivers are racing in those seeded splits. Every single race is 25 minutes long, and they all run with a fixed setup. But the difference is Divisions 3 and 2 run the iRacing MX5 series baseline setup. The advanced setup is used for Division 1. Now, a spare car is available at all times for drivers, and they have unlimited spare cars. So if you break it, just get in the T car, get back out there again. But it will cost you the tow time still if you go out there and try and drive around this circuit. Currently peering in on qualifying, eyes on the 1P Motorsport car, making its progress towards this uphill. It is a first timer actually up on top as we watch Carl Wincott jump up the field. It's Jamie Florentino, the Floridian, up on top on a 57.3 at the moment.
Yeah, Carl's got a good, nice lap going on here. He's in there tight, nice tight apex through West Bend, or through the downhill, coming down the straight. Let's see what he can come up with.
Well, the time he needs to beat is a 58.4, and our timing's going to be a little bit funny with it. It's a 58.1, and that's good enough to jump up then to 9th position, but still 3/4 of a second behind Florentino, whose qualifying efforts really didn't help. Now, it is important now, Robert, to talk about that pre-qualifying, because you only get 3 laps to go as the Lebanese driver Riyad Yasmin moves up into 6th position in the Mist Apex Racing Nordcloud car out there on track. So certainly doing a very good job at the moment. But those 4 days, as it were, of pre-qualification, they are so important because you've got to get the time sorted pretty much immediately.
Yeah, it's such a short track, and starting position is so important here. Just coming into turn 1, it's going to be a hard fight getting through that first turn with everybody, but I think it'll go nicely with everybody who's qualified where they are. They all seem to be fairly quick, good handle on the car, but we'll see how it goes when the green flag drops.
We certainly will, and when the green flag drops, that's certainly where it gets a little bit different. Yasmin trying to make that drive out to the diving turn and over towards the line. A little bit of wheel wiggle as he goes on the straight, and that then is a 58 flat, so unable to improve on that lap time. That is that. Bill Jenkins is out there for the Dirigo Motorsports team in that British racing green colour that is there on the front, along with the gold tinting that is out there in the car, as well as the white battering that curve. And in fact, he's blown the engine going over that section.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he's taking a lot of curb. That's not going to do well for him. Yeah, it looks like he blew a shift and he just dropped his engine.
So easily done, and the aptly named Sir Alan Toon for the work guard by result team, someone who is absolutely there and one of those drivers who everyone seems to have a bit of love. Anton Simeonov's times are done. I believe Michael Tanagretta is the only driver who has a chance to improve at this moment in time, has 1 lap left in the back pocket for the most ominous team name in the world, the organization, and he overcooks it there into Big Bend.
Yeah, and it's so easy to do there, to just try and have so much confidence in the car, and it just says, no, I'm not going to give it to you, and off you go.
So easy for that to happen. 2 minutes and 45 seconds. 4 drivers who have not set a time so far include the likes of Rory Wetherington, who hasn't gone out and set a lap time out there. Anton Simeonov's 3 laps, not good enough to set a time. So Alan Toon in exactly the same boat with invalidations on the laps, and Brett Ride hasn't gone out to set a qualifying time either. So those drivers then having to be patient. But this is a brilliant cinematic look at what makes this circuit so challenging, and especially this layout, the classic layout. This is the same layout, Robert, that they were using all the way back when this track started in 1957. It's not changed a bit.
No, it's the same layout, and it is a fast layout. You really want to be on it all the time, but you gotta, again, you gotta understand what this track will do to you if you try and ask too much of it.
Well, if you ask
it will definitely throw you around.
It will. It really will. And I think that's going to be the most telling thing. 1:45, there is technically time to get out there and put a time in on the board, but I don't think we're going to be in a position where that is happening. So I think now is as good a time as any to take ourselves over to the Simify starting grid, the new title sponsor for the MX5 World Sim Series. Simify is an online web shop housing a vast array of sim racing essentials for the next step in your virtual career. From steering wheels, seats, and handbrakes to even the common sim racing glove, Simify ships worldwide and is available to be seen both in English and Espanol. Use discount code MX5WSS at checkout to receive a discount on your sim racing purchase by visiting www.simify.com today. As things stand, it is a very, very positive pole position, almost half a second the difference at the front for Jamie Florentino, who will have the pole position with the Jamaican driver alongside him, Charles Kellyman. He's up in the top 40 at the championship. The top 40 make the world final when it comes to racing action at the WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Carl Jacquelet, 30th in the championship, lines up third with Nicholas Norwood in fourth position. Happy birthday, Damien McMullen, fifth position to try and get his season sorted, with Riyad Yasmin in sixth place, with Willem van Rassel and Tyler Emery on row 4. Row 5 housing Andrew Littler and Carl Wincott for 1P Motorsport.
Yeah, in row 6, we've got starting in 11th, we've got Peter Reed. With David Geddes beside him in 12th. We got Robert van den Heuvel and Lewis Benny pulling up row 7. Cale Rantanen alongside Stephen Elder in row 8. Michael Tenengretta will start in 17th with Leon Vorders beside him. And 10th row is Tim Brink with Timo Bjala beside him in 20th.
Timo Paya did do a really good time there in 20th. Arturo Davila will go from 21st position, and two little ducks for Shane Pettingill. He'll start 22nd. Last time was set by Bill Jenkins. All the other drivers will be now rounded up by their iRacing, which means Rory Wetherington will start ahead of the likes of Brett Ride, Anton Simeonov, and Sir Alan Toon going from the back of the field. They have 2 minutes to get themselves gridded up. It is a short run towards turn 1, the Big Ben, which also happens to be turn 2 as well. You've got to be alert everywhere you go. This is a classic IMSA-style circuit. You have to be on your very best to try and get the best out of this track, because you know it's grass runoff everywhere you look, and especially here as they line up on the Sam Posey straight. This is all about points for those drivers. Charles Kellyman, Carl Jacquelet, and you can put in the mix as well number 38, Peter Reed. Those drivers inside the top 40 all have work to do. Lights go on then for Division 3. Lights go out, and we are underway for racing action at Lime Rock Park. Florentino gets a good start. Kellyman will match alongside. Bit of side-by-side for 4th and 5th positions. Riyad Yasmin with a good launch compared to Damien McMullen. So he'll get the launch that he wants. They head into the Big Ben for the first time as they look to try and settle out. Nice and wide grid stalls have meant nice and wide racing. 2 wides they go through, and because everybody knows this circuit well, everyone leaving enough room well as they head through the NASCAR bed.
Yeah, coming into the no-name straight, getting ready for that uphill. They are going to spread out a little bit, line themselves up, get up that uphill. You can see the air they take as they reach the top of that hill, the speeds they're taking.
Oh, they're absolutely flying. That bit of side-by-side between McMullen and Van Rassel looking to get interesting, and in the background, Van Rassel turns around. Everybody now has to jump and abandon ship. Very nearly, Andy Littler found himself in the barriers on the outside, just trying to avoid it, and now he's going to have to find reverse to get himself back going again, and Van Rassel manages it. So we're through a lap here. There's more dramas, though, down the hill. Bill Jenkins, Robert van den Heuvel, Shane Pettingill all caught out on the opening lap. But at this point in time, Florentino, the Brazilian, with a big lead at the front, 1 second to the good on the opening lap. He clearly had pace.
Oh, big crash.
So there's a trouble in the background there,
We have
potentially.
a big, yeah.
Well, it looked like Van den Heuvel and co were all caught up then in the back over the top of the crest. So that's why all of them found themselves back down in the pits. That was the end. Bill Jenkins still trying to limp his car back into the pits at this moment in time. So it looks like they are both, all drivers are going to go and have some troubles. That was up over the top of the hill at the end of the opening lap. But at least for the moment, Florentino good. Kellyman then in second, and third, Carl Jacquelet. Now, these two in second and third here, Robert, they've raced each other all the time, every Tuesday night. They're up against each other, and they have been for years.
And that, you know, that's very advantageous, but it can be frustrating as well. When you know another driver and you're racing them all the time, sometimes you just, you know what, you want to look at the rear end or the front, you know, you want to be in front of a different car just to run a little bit different, have something different going on with the car.
Yeah, and that difference is going to be key. The optical racing car of Carl Jacquelet looking to try and chase down Charles Kellyman here up the hill. His optical teammate there just in front of him. So 2 and 3, that'll be good for them in the team's championship. The Dirigo car just behind him 4th, and then Riyad Yasmin, who has done a good job there in 5th position, has been knocking on the door of getting a good victory here in Division 3, and has been certainly searching time and time again to try and make that happen. Onto the Sam Posey straight. They'll head towards Big Ben once again, and a little bit of defensive running there in the background. That is going to be Rory Wetherington trying to stay out of the way 1 lap down. Florentino with the purple check mark for the fastest lap of the race. Still, every position mattering at this point in time. Fastest laps do mean something here in this series. It's 2 points in Divisions 2 and 3 for the fastest lap that is there. We focus right now on Lewis Benny and Michael Tanagretta here, 10th and 11th. The top 10 still needing to be decided out there. Early stages, of course, we're only through the first 3 to 4 minutes of this race. Up the hill, Benny will go through that uphill, and you've got to have the car there, Robert, settled as you climb the crest.
Yeah, you gotta have a lot of faith in the car, a lot of faith in the grip of the tires when you hit that line and go up that hill, because if you're not dead straight on that hill, it can really upset the car and ruin your race extremely quick.
Here comes Yasmin, looking for the inside of the big bend. Room given by Nick Norwood. He grabs the cross on the outside. Round goes Norwood straight to the inside and just about avoiding it. Everyone's going to have to try and scramble at 6s and 7s. He gets out of the way, but that was a big scare for the likes of Tyler Emery, who had to get on there. His teammate very nearly found himself in the side.
Yeah, there was some close guys there that just managed to get around that. That was some really good driving and heads-up driving on their part for sure.
It absolutely bunches the field up because Carl Wincott, now the 1P Motorsport car, is all over Emery. Wants to try and find a way through. It's the lap down Rory Wetherington, who's just in front of them, and just behind that is one Mr. Peter Reed, who is just out or just inside the top 40 at the moment in terms of championship points, and would love to book his place at the end of the regular season, so to speak, to go to Laguna Seca. But he's going to have to work hard here because he might not get that opportunity if it stays like this and he continues in Division 3. He needs every point he can get, every position he can get. Look at how they fan in the background.
Yeah, they're battling for everything right now. They're comfortable in the cars now. Got a few left.
Yeah, they are really pushing. And actually, we just had a car slide through the grass. It was Anton Simeonov who's struggling out there at the moment. So it looks like everybody's trying to push this group, still fighting on there through the middle. There is Simeonov. He's just dropped off this group, and it was almost pinball out there heading towards turn 1 between himself and Sir Alan 2. Oh, the way to go, Sir Alan 2. Where are you going, mate?
He's just mowing the grass a little bit. You know, a little shortcut, that's all. Nice cat.
How not both of them are still in this race is beyond belief at this point. That was very nearly for Sir Alan 2, a case of race over, and that's why every position counts out there. Here comes Emery, searching for a look then to the inside. Oh, sorry, trying to defend here from Wincott. Wincott in the 1P Motorsport car, trying to find the move on the Dirigo machine, and he'll have a look here through the next left-hander here of NASCAR. A little overshoot then from Tyler Emery. He's going to slightly miss the apex, and he doesn't quite get all the way back alongside through the right hook, and that's going to open up the door then maybe through the uphill over to West Bend for Wincott to get this move.
Yeah, Wincott's got him right lined up here. He's just got to get a really good exit up the hill. Looks like he got through it nice and clean, a little bit quicker than Carl. Managed to keep him behind him now as they come down into West Bend.
And on the
downhill. Get in on him. Downhill. Yeah, sorry, track.
Yeah, he's got to go. He's absolutely got to go at this point. Wincott knows he's got to find his place because they're losing ground here to Damian McMullen at this point. So that gap between them right now is extended out to nearly 3 seconds. If you can't find the move now, this is the sort of track which will say goodbye, see you later. It's that sort of race that we're getting our eyes on at the moment. The lead gap, by the way, is up to 3.7 seconds. Traffic stays out of the way on the outside as they move through, and that there is Tim Brink trying desperately to stay out of the way, and he is an absolute warrior the way that Tim Brink drives. He's got to drive with the help of his physio out there to make all the turns and to help him make sure he gets through all the races. So he's doing a fantastic job. Here is the look then as we take that aerial view towards West Bend, where the chance comes for Wincott is surely going to be down through the downhill, the diving turn, and over towards turn 1. He's trying to take as much as he can, but he takes 2 wiggles through the corner, and the chance falls away for this lap.
Yeah, he just wanted to hold on to him through the corner there, but the rear end just was not cooperating with him coming down the hill.
It really wasn't. In towards turn 1 then, the big bend, turns 1 and 2. Out on track once more. It's a case of can't find out there at this point. A little look there to that inside, and you're trying to play this game of chess. It really is a game of chess around this circuit. You've got to be so switched on and work out where you're going to go. A bit of blinking from the Dirigo car won't help Wincott out much, but Wincott here might have an angle. It's going to look towards the inside here of the uphill, the most committed corner on the circuit. It's going to find it, and look at this for a bit of 2 for 1. Peter Reid might take both of them here. Still a little bit of blinking as they head to the West Bend. Does Reid have the line on the inside? No, he doesn't.
Wow, some great racing by all of them. Nice and clean. Kept each other really close, but didn't touch. Really good job.
I'll tell you what, it's interesting behind them around Stephen Elder, about 12th place, because you've got Rantanen who's there. Pyer, Brett Wright's trying to recover. Also the recovering Nicholas Norwood's trying to get back into this race. They're all there, and this entire group's going to be pretty much in a position where they want to go. Here goes Brett Wright, having a search towards the inside, a little bit wide from Pyer, and that's going to be Pyer off the road.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit of grass. Pretty sure he held on to it, kept it on the track. But yeah, this is, there goes the rear.
Just like that, there goes Brett Wright taking himself for a ride, a 360 as he goes away, and that will be a shame for him. He was racing hard to get back into position, and all of a sudden, he now finds himself dropping way back, if not down the lap, if he's not too careful soon. So that's going to be him way back and having to really focus and reapply as they go through. Down the hill, Peter Reid for SimTech Racing continues to give his chase of Carl Wincott out there in that 6th position. Every place mattering for him at the moment. Wincott defending it in towards the opening corner, and you feel that when you're not going to get that run, you're only going to gain about a car length on these straights. You're going to have to be alert, and alert you go to the outside searching. Tries Peter Reid, but he's not going to get there, and he's struggling to get anything really working the way he wants to make that pass. He drops back another 3 to 4 lengths.
Yeah, he's trying to make him as nervous as possible here. You know, he's taking, you can see him, he's braking a little earlier, taking a little bit wider line to try and get a run out of the corner and catch him coming up into the next corner. That one just didn't work out the way he wanted, but I think he'll gather it up and he'll go at him again here once he catches back up to the rear end of that car.
Might take a little bit of time for that to happen, though, just because of the nature of this circuit. It is so fast-paced. It's only a 2.4-kilometer track, but you are really going to have to be alert to every little moment out there, and that's a big issue in the background there, pushing very hard. I believe that was David Geddes and co, who is all getting it a bit there, all close. There's the Liqui Moly car trying to find himself a move through. That's Lewis Benny still trying to open up and jump up forward. He's now got his eyes set on Tyler Emery, so that's the race for 8th place. So out to the final corner. Now you get in the grass here, Rob, and Michael Tannegretta finds himself pretty much with an offer he can't refuse. His race continuing, a little wiggle of the wheel to say, yep, I made it.
Yeah, a little bit of wiggle just to say, yeah, I made it, and maybe get any debris off those tires, get his grip back before coming into Big Bend.
That would certainly be one way that could help. 13 minutes then and 5 seconds remaining on the clock. The race on for 8th place. Lewis Benny with a good run here on Tyler Emery. He might have to push himself to the inside here. It was very late. The door was shutting on him, and he lifts off of it into the opening corner here. Doesn't want to try and go out there, be too aggressive, and make the move. Now, these drivers will also be looking to try and pace themselves, Robert, over the course of this race. They'll know how to race the first half, and then you segment it down.
Yeah, you really want to break down this track and figure out where your car handles best, where you need to lift a little bit, so that when it gets to the point where you've got a chance to move forward, you know where you can attack, you know where you have to wait, and be ready for the next one.
Every single move matters, and this is the patience race out there at this point. The group behind is 10th and 11th. That's David Geddes, who is trying to stay with Tanner Greta, who's been pushing on the margins. There are no instant limits here, and there's no penalty for picking up the instant point, so you can push as hard as you like. There goes the move, coming out then of the downhill, that diving turn, and it allows on the Sam Posey straight Lewis Benny to search that inside line, and he takes the natural turning point away from Tyler Emery, who wanted that but couldn't have it. That's a great move by Lewis Benny there.
Yeah, Emery wasn't expecting him to do that. You could see it just caught him off guard a little bit. He had to brake a little bit sooner and let him through, and no choice of his. He had to let him go.
Oh, there's trouble at the top of the hill. Carl Jacquelette's gone around. So there's troubles. Jacquelette in trouble in the barriers. There was lap traffic involved, and it was Arturo de Villa. So this is the position that they find themselves in. Coming up to the uphill section, he had his teammate Charles Kellyman just in front, and through this right, up the hill goes Kellyman. They go 3 wide, and then there's the contact with the Spirit 14 car, and just like that, Carl Jacquelette, the highest rated driver in Division 3 in the championship, finds himself now with a battered and bruised machine, and his race pretty much all but done for him at this point in time in the pits.
Yeah, it looked like taking them 3 wide there. Got the car on the inside there, just caught a little bit of grass when he hit the top of the hill, and the car was not settled down. When he touched that grass and that chain reaction, off he went into the wall.
Jamie Florentino, your leader in the CFPM Sampaio machine, the team run by the or the father and son duo, I should say, of Jameson and Enzo Sampaio. He's part of that team, and he's doing a really good job. That's his first sight we've seen of him this season. Lewis Benny's group now, this is for 7th place on back all of a sudden. And look at the run that Tyler Emery's starting to get. He's found some second wind here. He wants to get back, and he wants to get that place quickly.
Yeah, Benny got a little loose and a little bit of a slide out of the corner there, and that just opened up the door for him to get right up on the rear end of him and try and get him here in turn 1 at Big Bend.
Oh, he's got it under brakes. Can he get it stopped? No, he can't. There's contact. And round goes Tyler Emery. And that there was a case of Emery having to get on the binders quickly, and he just ran out of road compared to the middle of the lane driving there from Lewis Benny, whose car pretty much just spat him out like a bouncer.
Yeah, he just had no more front grip in the car, didn't want to stick down in the corner. You see him coming up here in a Big Bend. He's looking at it, and I'm going. But when those brakes hit, the car just wanted to go straight, didn't want to keep turning.
Well, it doesn't matter if the car wants to go straight on, the track doesn't go straight on, and there was not much more he could do. He now finds himself with Willem van Rassel racing it out now for 12th position here in this race. Anton Simeonov there in the Beulah's car just behind, who will be trying to stay in this and really help out. Jordan Svetinov's helped in the team's championship, which is right now a 2-horse race at the front. But now with under 9 minutes left now, every single position counts. And this is the sort of split Division 3 where you just look and say anything's possible. Van Rassel with a big look to the inside. Not going to happen on the Dirigo 62.
Yeah, we got a car off in the grass again at Big Bend. So easy to do there. Just outbrake yourself and not be able to make that turn. And it's going to bite you, and so many positions lost when you make that turn wrong.
Yeah, I think that was the lap traffic Arturo de Villa, who was trying to stay out of the way. Now, David Geddes wants 8th place here off of Michael Tannegretta, who Does miss the apex through the west bend, but gets away with it there okay. He can carry that speed well through west, downhill into the diving turn. This is where you're going to see most of these runs, trying to get that move into turn one, trying to usurp that position. And they do have to be careful about how many times they move over, because the long serpentines that we had at the early rounds of the championship, Robert, they're gone away now. They're illegal.
Okay, yeah, there's no more blocking anymore. You need to run the line, and you need to stay in the line. You can't just keep moving around the track as much as you want.
Absolutely. I think that's going to be the key to how these races go. Riyad Yasmin, by the way, in third, as Tanagretta runs a little bit wide, coming out then of the right-hander. And just like that, that's an easy freebie. Thank you very much. David Geddes will take those morning, noon, and night. I want to keep an eye out, though, on Riyad Yasmin, because he's not a million miles away here from Charles Kellyman in the race for second position. It's only 0.6 of a second, and as he navigates expertly around the traffic of Bill Jenkins and Shane Pettingill, this is where Yasmin is doing a really good job of putting the pressure on Charles Kellyman here, who is one of the most consistent drivers out there.
Yeah, they've been going at it here for a few laps here. As you can see, he gets up on him, and once he gets up on him, he tries them, but it doesn't work, and now he's had to fall back a little bit. But he'll lay on it now and try and catch him back up, going up and then down the hill.
Oh, and a big wiggle there from Charles Kellyman. 2 bites to the back, trying to get that sorted back and settled to straight as he runs through West Bend and down the hill towards the diving turn. Riyad Yasmin has just got a more planted car. It's a little bit more sketchy for Charles Kellyman in terms of the way he drives. And that's the difference here. It's not a difference of setup. It's the difference in driving style.
Yeah, Yasmin's got it through there good, and he's just going to get up on him here and just wait for his moment to get around him and maybe force him into another little wiggle, get his position, and take that position away from him.
He wants it. He absolutely wants it. And now driving through the right, Yasmin pushing a little bit wide out of the corner. That's going to cost him this lap as he goes through. And you can't afford to cost many more laps. Just look at the time that's left here in this race. Every lap now has to count.
Yeah, they're running about just under a minute a lap. So yeah, about 6 laps to go here that he's going to have to get on it and really get on him and keep that car in the line that he wants to put it in if he's going to grab that position from him before the green or the checker flag flies.
You got to try and save it. You got to absolutely try and save every point that you can. Every point matters between now and the end of this season. And a few drivers down in the pits, and one of them is Damian McMullen from 4th position. Yeah. And now as well, race leader. Have they not put the right amount of fuel in? Is this a fueling issue?
Yeah, Yasmin is clawed right up on Kellyman here. He's putting the pressure on him. He wants that podium.
The fuel for Florentino, McMullen, Peter Reed, everyone who's been looking at the fuel, how much margin they've got. They've only fueled the car for 20 minutes and not 25. And all of a sudden it means now that Charles Kellyman has the race lead and he's fighting now for the race win with Riyad Yasmin. Incredible.
Yeah, that's unfortunate when you miscalculate your fuel settings and you're in that kind of position. As you make.
When he's in, they're all in. No one's
they're all
got fuel.
In. Wow,
absolutely
that's
nobody
an interesting development.
Riyad Yasmin leads.
Now, does Yasmin have enough fuel to go for another 5 minutes? That's the question.
Well, 5 minutes is 5 laps, and that's the big thing. Who has been able to save their fuel? Because everyone's going to now start jumping up positions here. Who is out there? Who's actually there? It's Riyad Yasmin at the moment who's still out there. David Geddes, you'd say, in 2nd. And Jamie Florentino is currently in 3rd. And Yasmin is struggling here. He's loud through Willem van Rassel. Everybody was short on fuel by about 5 minutes.
Well, those cars got to come around him, so he's actually got a bit of an opening here. He's a good 15. Oh, he might not make it to the pit.
Oh, he's out, and that's big. It's downhill from here, so he should be able to coast it into the pits. That shouldn't be an issue, but he is out of fuel. I wonder if the fuel numbers were calculated correctly. Everyone's had to come in and get a splash of fuel, and Norwood's in the wall behind him. Nicholas Norwood is in the wall.
Wow, some huge developments here for the last few minutes of this race. I didn't realize that some of them had miscalculated their fuel like that.
And this should put Jamie Florentino back into the race lead. And just like that, he does. So easy as that, Florentino, as you were, leads this race with about 3 minutes to go. That would have put everyone in a little bit of a shaky situation out there, with everyone dancing about saying, how much fuel do we have? How are we going to race this? It's also on now for what will be second position, because Damian McMullen all of a sudden has a big look at Charles Kellyman, and the birthday boy is on the podium.
Yeah, he just walked right through that. He wasn't fought at all really on that pass, I don't think.
No, and that's what Charles Kellyman is all about. He wants to preserve the race result, more rather than fight needlessly for positions, and that's how he's gone forward for it. So now it is Florentino who leads, McMullen now into second, the Irishman, Charles Kellyman, the Jamaican, in third, and Carl Wincott now is up into fourth position. Michael Tannegretta out of this is up in fifth. So every place now has really changed just by the fact that the pit stops have had to come in. And it's not often that we say fuel is an issue in this sort of race. They're supposed to be sprints to the end.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of them are going to be questioning us coming into the next one as to, okay, we're going to not go through that situation again.
No, I certainly agree with you there. That is going to be something they're all looking at, and Lewis Benny is someone who's going to be looking around and co. But there is Jamie Florentino. He's got a bit of lap traffic in front of him right now. It will be 2 laps to go at the line as he will move down the inside of Leon Vorters, the Thai driver, and put him a lap down for GTD Racing. And down the hill, he will now have himself 2 laps to go to secure what is an important Division 3 victory for his Sampaio team, and to make notice to everyone that he does have a good turn of pace.
Yeah, and I think Kellyman's going to try and take a run at McMullen here, but I don't think he's got enough in the car.
We'll see. You can see that gap, though. It's up to 1.1 seconds, and Charles Kellyman, I think, is just trying to hang on the best he can in the optical racing machine, the DM sim car of Damian McMullen. So often, when it's come to this Division 3 race, he has been the bridesmaid and not the bride, and it's looking like it's going to be chalked up another one of those tonight here in second position in Division 3. So he will now think about, well, what am I supposed to do against someone like Jamie Florentino, who's got so much pace out there at this point. And he is now, Robert, about to start his final lap of the race.
Yeah, he's running a good race.
Completely stopped there on the outside. It looked like that might have been Arturo Davila who was in trouble, and I believe that absolutely was. So that was him pretty much saying day and done. Davila done, but there is the 144.
Yeah, Florentine just holding it together here for this final lap. He's got some clear space. He doesn't have to worry too much. No sense pushing the car.
And Brett Wright there just alongside him went off and is in the wall. So that was trouble for him on the last lap. But Jamie Florentino up the hill finds himself in an acre of space, 17.5 seconds. He is to the good at this moment in time. He has walked away from everyone. It makes you wonder if he was able to get a qualifying time in, just how strong he would have been after the seeding days. But it is Jamie Florentino who comes to the line and dominates Division 3.
Yeah, good job, good drives, having to stop for fuel. Very fortunate. Everybody was kind of in the same boat, but definitely a good.
Oh, here we go. This might be it here, trying to take advantage of some dramas at the final corner. Kellyman's going to try, but he's not going to be close enough. McMullen will hold for that second.
Yeah, last-ditch effort. Thought he might have been able to get it.
And in the end, that's all it was going to be. Just a thought, trying to get that one over to the line. Every place is so hard fought for as they go through. Everyone is trying to get as many positions as they can. Riyad Yasmin's going to steal one here, because that there on the inside as he goes 3 wide is Anton Simeonov. So he'll take another one, and Riyad Yasmin will actually get a 9th place finish out of it then as they come to the line. So that's pretty much everybody done and dusted as they go through. Kalia Rantanen very nearly stole one as well. Let's take a look at official classified results then from Lime Rock Park Classic for Division 3. 2 more races to come after this. Jamie Florentino dominates. His margin of victory 19.7 in a race where fuel was a huge issue. Damian McMullen would finish off in second, with Charles Kellyman rounding out the podium in third. Carl Wincott would finish fourth ahead of Michael Tannegretta in fifth, with Peter Reed sixth. Willem van Rassel, the Dutchman, would be in seventh ahead of Lewis Benny, with Riyad Yasmin taking the position late over Anton Simeonov in 10th.
Yeah, Kalia Rantanen comes in 11th. With the Briton Stephen Elder in 12th, the American Tyler Emery in 13th. Timo Baja comes in 14th, with Rory Wethington 15th. Sir Alan Toon, and in behind him, David Geddes, the Canadian, who pulls in the 17th. 18th is Brett Ride, with Bill Jenkins and Nicholas Norwood taking 19th and 20th.
Those drivers 2 laps down, and further on for more in the background. Tim Brink, Leon Vorters, Shane Pettingill in trouble. So too the big one though, number 30, Carl Jacquelet. That's the big name out of the race, and some big points that have gone by the wayside there. And as they have gone through, we're going to step aside for just one moment here with the Global Sim Racing Channel. Division 2 comes up in just a couple moments. Division number 3 proved to be a very, very strong showcase. But those drivers knew they had to get as many points as they possibly could out of it. And someone who knew that in every single element was Damien McMullen. He's along with us right now. Damien, it's another second position, but that would have thrown a spanner in the works here tonight, knowing that you had to jump about, realizing, oh, hang on a minute, we got a fuel save.
Oh, it's absolutely crazy. Like, my crew chief was saying, like, you have 10 minutes left to fuel and it was 15 minutes left to go. And I was like going, what's going on here? And then I realized, yeah, the spanners in the works have been thrown.
Well, you had to find that pit stop, and in some phases, it actually helped you because you were there in 4th position coming into the pits. Out of it, you found yourself fighting for 2nd position there with Charles Kellyman, who was about as gentlemanly as possible, let you have the place on the inside, but another 2nd position for you. You know, what's it going to take to get yourself over the top of the hill?
I have no idea, and I say it's just more practice, and practice is the best way I hope to make it. But look, either way, it's a podium. That's what I was looking for this, because I wasn't very comfortable around this track. So a second is a win to me, is a bonus.
Well, that's all very good. The one thing we need to say to you, though, is happy birthday.
Thank you very much, I really appreciate it.
Well, happy birthdays indeed. But next month, it's a jump over to Alton Park without chicanes. What's the feeling around there in terms of how you're going to drive around that circuit?
Like a lunatic, I love Alton Park. It's literally, when there's no chicanes, you don't have to worry. It's just all about the toe. So if everyone can work together, it'd be brilliant racing.
You heard it here first. It's all about the toe for Damien McMullen. Before we let you go, shout out sponsors or anyone you'd like to thank.
I want to shout out to my friends who are actually on the stream at the moment. They're all been wishing me happy birthday. And to my sponsors, Fleet.ie and Potato Nation. And to you lads for doing all the hard work doing the commentating. And to the team in the MX5 series, thank you very much.
No worries at all there. Damien McMullen joining us and finding a really, really good result there. 2nd position, certainly everything he could hope for. And that is going to be fun. But now you've got to start wondering here when you head into Division 2 sorts of work, Robert. You know, this is where drivers are thinking about, okay, a result here, a top 10 is effectively top 40 overall points. Everyone's going to be trying to search to get those sorts of points, those consistent points at the top end of this field.
Yeah, and I think the other thing on everybody's mind too is make sure they add a little bit more fuel to the car this time now, and try and avoid those pit stops.
Yeah, so that pit stop, I think, is going to be really, well, you're going to have to hope there's no pit stops first and foremost, that the fuel is all good. The one thing they'll now be looking around themselves are who are the drivers that are going to be needing those points. And I'll tell you what, there are 5 drivers up at the top, 19th to 23rd in the championship, are all here in Division 2. That's Martin Sampson, that's Laurent Sebastian, Patrick Cantrell, Miles Owens, and Ronald Moans, who is the owner of Virtual Bell Car on the iRacing service. So you look at those 5 drivers, they are drivers that you absolutely pin down and say they need a top 10 tonight.
Yeah, sorry about that. I mean, once.
Well, I'm sure we're going to have some incredible racing regardless, as everybody looks to charge around. Every point matters, and they're racing for one of 40 spaces in the final at the WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. The bubble man is here in this field. That is Christian Hinch, who is currently that driver on the bubble. He's currently qualified in 6th position. We are in qualifying now as it stands. 10 minutes to set themselves those times, just 3 laps available to them. Tony Williamson is one of those drivers out there who is looking to improve. He's currently 22nd fastest out there on track at this moment. But you do have to start wondering as you go out there, as actually Williamson's just run off the road through turn 2. Every place is going to matter, and there is the 108. And you talk about a driver who's down at 108 out there who's trying to get everything sorted here, Robert. The key is going to be very, very simple. Drivers who've got 3 digits right now, who find themselves in division number 2, everything's a bonus at this point.
Yeah, because they're up there and they've got into this division 2. They're above everybody else. You know, kind of some freebie points, but definitely going to be fighting and fighting for more.
Currently, your top of the standings is Mons, Sampson, Suarez, Patrick Alders there in fourth, and Rene Zegelar, currently the driver, in fifth position. Williamson's lap here will not count, but will have at least 2 more opportunities to go out there and improve on that lap time, but they are in a closed qualifying condition. That means when that timer hits 0, that is it, Robert. They don't get any more lap time. So officially for Tony Williamson, he's only got 1 more. There is Bruno Albino just in front. He is out of qualifying laps, though.
Yeah, that's a shame that when you get out there and you think you can get a good qualifier and you just run out of time. It can be frustrating, but now it's time to just put your head down and deal with what you got and get out in the race and finish the best you can.
Williamson along the no-name straight, or as a certain group would call it, the isn't straight at that point, up the hill, looking to try and get that run, and you can certainly sense how this circuit has that feeling of it's not quite all neat and tidy in certain places. There is that little bit of roughness, that little bit of edge to this track where you've got to really respect the boundaries of this circuit, and Williamson now will make that run, trying to improve on a 58.1, will cross the line, it's a 59.2, so definitely no improvement there, and will stay as is. Once more, we will jump ourselves over to that Simify starting grid for you, ladies and gentlemen. The new title sponsor for the MX5 World Sim Series. They're an online web shop housing a vast array of sim racing essentials for the next step in your virtual career. From steering wheels, seats, and handbrakes to even the common sim racing glove, Simify ships worldwide and is available to be seen both in English and Espanol. Use discount code MX5, the number 5, WSS at checkout to receive a discount on your sim racing purchase by visiting www.simify.com today. Ronald Mons will find himself on the pole position. He'll be joined on that front row by Martin Sampson. Luis Suarez will line up in third position, with Patrick Alders in fourth, and fifth will be Rene Zegelar. Christian Hinch, the man on the bubble, starts in sixth, with Roberto Bruno Filio in seventh and Miles Owens for platinum in eighth. Rodrigo Emmerich makes his first start in ninth, with Laurent Sebastian in 10th.
Yeah, in row 6, we've got Edward Grob in 11th, and Peter Guzin is taking up 12th position. We've got Sander Ware alongside Michael Elliott for 13th and 15th in row 7. We've got Keo Poulsen, 15th, and Melvin Tuljian in 16th. We got Patrick Cottrell in 17th position, with Jose Gonzalez in 18th beside him. And finishing off row 10, we've got Alexander Long and Tom Daly.
Alif Imran will start from 21st, with Tony Williamson alongside Matt Tempest and Simon Robson house row 12. Row 13 has Bruno Albino and Armanula Bacchus, the South African. Martin Smith, Stephen Orrell, and Jojo Patrick, the 111, will start from 29th position here in division number 2. But this is going to be, for those drivers looking to score points, where do you score those points in and around the bubble? Who do you jump ahead of? Who falls behind? Best 7 of 10 results count towards the race to the WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Green flag in the air. Let's get ourselves racing. Mons gets an all right start, but it's a lot better from Martin Sampson there. The optical car on the outside is going to get a much better launch here, heading towards turn 1 of the Big Bend. Can he make the run around the outside? Mons holding on that inside line. The Belgian forcing his way back through into the race lead. Suarez and Alders wait behind. Alders has got himself through.
Yeah, good clean opening lap by everybody. Some really good side-by-side battles through Big Bend, but everybody got through it cleanly. Now we'll see how they do coming through the no-name straight and up into the hill.
Someone who didn't do well was Sandavara. He lost about 4 positions then through turn 3, and that's why he dropped back. A little bit of side-by-side in the middle, as the likes of Rodrigo Emmerich now really has to race. Laurent Sebastian side-by-side, one car having to take to the escape route, and there's troubles there as they go through, and almost points in the wrong direction. How is that one safe going through that section? Finally, it's a turnaround for Luis Suarez, who finds himself the wrong way. The 3-wide racing car, he's got to be so careful about that rejoin. His suspension may be broken. Oh!
Yeah. I think he clipped the wall there. Oh my goodness.
Stephen Orrell found himself unsighted behind the lap traffic. He was side by side himself, and made contact with Armanula Bacchus, and he got turned into the stationary Luis Suarez. So that's his troubles done. Moans leads. It's Samson in second. It's Patrick Alders who finds himself in third. Up the hill then, through this right-hander, and I believe we're going to take a little look at exactly what happened a little bit earlier on there on that opening lap, just how quickly it went wrong on the Global SimRacing Channel replay, and that's what you see, the end of it. It's a heavy, heavy hit going down the hill through that section, and it's a case of where drivers worry as they go through. So there's the first hit. That's going to turn around the 1P Motorsport number 47 car out there of Tom Daly. And that's why the group there, number 78, gets himself down the order. That's Jose Gonzalez, who finds himself now just trying to limp it around. And you'll see one car in front of him fall into troubles. It's the yellow machine that you've got to keep an eye out on here, because it's the yellow machine. They see the car that's pointed there, and he gets turned into Luis Suarez, 3-wide racing car, who was sat there on the outside, Robert.
Yeah, it's unfortunate coming through that corner, and if you don't know somebody sitting there, you're not ready for that. And he was just, you know, wrong place, wrong time. Way more damage to the car than he had.
Big troubles. Roberto Bruno Filio finds himself turned around, and that was with Rodrigo Emmerich then, I believe.
You know, see if we can get a replay of that.
Miles Owens was caught up in it. He was the one who got away scot-free from everyone. The Platinum Racing car, number 22 in the championship. And there's a little spin in the background as well. One of the GTD racing cars finding themselves in trouble. That might be Alexandre Longo, who might have been turned around there. So big drivers having troubles in Division 2. And no surprises there. That's the back end of it. It was happening a little bit further up the no-name straight.
Yeah, just a little tap there, got him a little bit loose, and he tried to come into the corner, and he was on his inside. Nothing he could do.
Smallest bit of overlap there, causing the biggest amount of drama for these drivers, and that's not what they were hoping for. There is Patrick Alders out there on circuit, finding himself in third place, and just behind him, that's the man P40 in the championship, what we call the man on the bubble. It's the Nordcloud driver Christian Hinch, the German, is going to find himself now with this age-old rivalry with the Dutch, as he now looks to try and find a move with 4 different nationalities, making up the top 4 at the moment, split by 1.4 seconds over the line.
Deep braking into Big Ben to try and get up on the rear end of him. Looks like he might have got him a little bit. See what he can do through him through the no-name straight and up the hill. But he seems to be out braking him a little bit better braking and turning you.
Well, he's got to get that turn in. He's got to get that braking. He's got to get all of that pivot in a car which is pretty much the bread and butter for closed wheel in iRacing. And that's also something to talk about, Robert. The fact that iRacing have broken up open wheel and closed wheel in terms of road racing and made 2 separate racing categories for them.
Yeah, it's a good way to do it, because I mean, when you've got all that weight on the cars and over the tires, and then you go to your open tires, there's nothing there. It's completely different racing, so it's really nice that it's split up, and it you know, says what you're really good at, or gives you the opportunity to manage yourself to be good in both.
See the gap the front 4 have as Patrick Alders sets the fastest lap of the race. Will take bonus points if it stays like this and he remains with the fastest lap when he gets to the finish line. On the brakes then through the left-hander, the only left-hander. This is a circuit which really does work the right-hand side or left-hand side tyres out there, as they have to travel the further distance out there. And you can see a comparison then of top speeds in kilometres an hour on the bottom of your screen. 164. Martin Samms is definitely carrying more speed in the draft, but not by much. 1 or 2 kilometres an hour. These straights aren't long enough naturally.
Yeah, there's just not enough on these straights that if you're not a little bit closer to him or right on his bumper, it's really not effective to you. It's not going to help you pull in on him. It's all in how you get out of the corner. You got to get out better than him. You want to get in better than him, because the draft isn't going to do much. Tony
Williamson has a big accident on the uphill. He's caught Ali Vimran out, who won in Division 3 last time out at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. So for Ali Vimran, he's not going to get as much love as he did then, but this is a look at it here, and this is a long, prolonged slide on the uphill. You've got to be so alert to where you're turning in. Grabs grass on entry, big Tokyo drift through the right. He's trying to get himself through. It's not a GR86, it's an MX5. And Imran, very lucky he didn't tip over.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they grabbed a few more drivers there with him. It's a shame he didn't go through and get a hold of it, but unfortunate for him and definitely the drivers that got caught up in that.
Yeah, the drivers found themselves in trouble. Ali Imran, nothing he could do about that. But now we got this segmented into a couple of groups. So you got the leading quartet who are out there at the front. Behind that, the next group probably is Laurent Sebastian and Pieter Goossens, who is out there. Goossens is going to try and really do as much as he can. And then is the group which is led by the one lap down Tom Daly, which is about 10th place. Melvin Tyne and co. with Zegalar, with Vara, all there, trying to get through. Matt Tempest in that group as well. So every group fighting for a little bit of something. This is a pack mentality style race at this moment in time.
Yeah, the mentality right now is I want to be the guy out front and I want to be able to pull away from everybody. I don't want anybody in front of me. This is, I've had enough. Just let me drive my race, put me up front.
Well, if Tom Daly thinks he's quicker, he's at every entitlement to stay out there in front. As there, around the outside, goes Christian Hinch at the West Bend. What a move!
Yeah.
Well, let's see this one again, because we caught the back end of it. This is all set up, Robert. Set up from the uphill to get the pass sorted.
Yeah, you can see him. He just entered the corner beautifully. He caught a little bit of grass and just completely took advantage of him. Said, okay, you're already loose. You're already on the brakes. I'm going to go around your outside. Thank you very much.
And now Christian Hinch can have his eyes set further forward with Martin Sampson, with Ronald Mones, who are both there. And there goes Hinch. Just like that. Bang! Into the barriers. His race is over. The bubble man in trouble.
Yeah, just a little too much. And it just, I think he caught the grass.
Well, he caught something, a curse of a commentator maybe, but just like that, just pushed a little bit too hard. You're absolutely right there, Robert. He just pushed too hard through turn 3. He was trying to chase the front 2 down. He didn't need to do that.
Yeah, sometimes when you get on it and the car just feels good, or you just know you can move forward more and you want to, you're just going to push that car that 1 inch that you really shouldn't have. And unfortunate events for him, definitely.
He's got the black and orange mechanical flag, so he will have to come down into the pits and serve that and get the damage repaired, because it is too much for him by the iRacing stewards to go out there and continue. There are your top 2, and that's the group behind Melvin Tyne and co. We focus here on Rene Zegalar, an all-Dutch affair with Sander Vara and the Spirit 14 car looking through, but the group's got a little bit larger. You've got Matt Tempest there. Rodrigo Emmerich is trying to move through. Is the Brazilian trying to recover for the Sampaio team, his first start of the season. And then you've got number 48, Edouard Gross. He's there. He's trying to get into this mix as well. This is a huge pack that's stuck up behind the lap traffic.
Yeah, I think with everything that's been happening on the track, cars have just been braking. They've been running cautious. It's allowed other drivers to get them. And now we've got a pack of drivers that are going to see a white light that they want to get their car to.
They want to find a way to get through and get through quickly. This run through the diving turn is the key to that. How much speed can you carry through there, and how much can you attack? Hinge departs stage right. He dives into the pits for the damage that he's got to repair. So they all jump up 1 place. Now Melvin Tyne leads the group for 9th place on back as they all challenge their way through the Big Bend. This is what we know as a drafting train. No one's got the advantage on anyone else. Nobody can really make the pass.
Yeah, and up at the front there is Sampson's really going to start and put it here on Moons. He's been flirting with him a little bit here, trying to take over that first position.
Well, the virtual bell car organisers proving that he's definitely got pace in the yellow machine. And now Martin Sampson is optical for the optimal. Trying to think about a move. He pulls back into line again. He's very much playing the patience game, Robert. You certainly saw that. He looked to go to the outside, and then he thought better of it.
Well, yeah, I think he said, you know what, I really don't want to do this right now. I know where I can get him. I'll be ready for him the next time if I can get in that position again. And you can see he's backed off a little bit, but he'll start creeping a little bit close.
In the background there, that's Christian Hinch again. Just come out of the pits, he's put it in the wall. That'll be his day done. Takes a tow, so he will try and salvage any points he can, but he's now going to be dropping way down the order. Back on still for the race
huge
lead.
run down into Big Ben.
Oh, yes. So now you've got to start wondering here, how are you going to find this move? How are you going to find this chance? And I wonder at this point whether Martin Sampson can find that chance. It's not going to happen this time, and they are going to stay in line.
Well, he's got to be a little nervous here, because the longer he hangs in behind Moons and plays this little game with him, Alders is pulling up on him. He's closed a bit of the gap, and he's getting them a little bit closer and closer, and he may pull himself into this battle.
He may pull himself in. Patrick Alders, though, is just tantalising there. He actually closed half a second over that last lap, so brought the gap down to 0.9 of a second. He wants to bring himself into play with that group. Keep an eye as well on 5th, 6th and 7th. Michael Elliott's got his hands full right now, as Laurent Sebastian has gone through, and now Pieter Hossens, the 118, desperately needing points. He's wanting to try and get through.
Yeah, it's picking up now. They're halfway through this. They know what they can do. They just want to move forward. They know what their car's going to do, where they stand. Now, if the opening's there, they're going to take.
Well, can they find the opening that they need? That's the goal in front of them. The Platinum Racing car of Miles Owens, who is incredibly quick as a driver. On the brakes, heavy goes Laurent Sebastian, as he now looks to try and hold the number 20 car in position. He knows that he is right in the thick of things for championship points, and the door left wide open but shut as they go through, and troubles for Rodrigo Emmerich. He dives down into the pits with a car that looks very much 8-hand.
Well, let's see what happened to him here. Just coming through the downhill.
Oh, that's no good.
That's not. He's going to have somebody unhappy with him there.
That would be Rene Zegelaar that he tangled with, the number 64 machine, who started in 5th position with this race. Zegelaar now way down the order. That's a big hit, and it will cost them so much in terms of what they want. Again, the number 19 of Martin Sampson plays the patience game. He is going to make Ronald Moans sweat this race. They pass Kay Poulsen there, who's going to stay out of the way. I tell you what, Martin Sampson is playing a very, very smart race right now.
Yeah, just he's got him in length. He knows he can beat him. He knows he can get around him. And I think right now he's just more than content to say, okay, you know what? Let's just run like this. Keep everybody else behind us. I will take you as soon as the opportunity is there, and it's to my advantage where I can walk away from you and not have to battle to keep this position.
Walking away is so difficult in this car. Everyone knows that this is a pack-style car where the draft is incredibly powerful. Again, Martin Sampson gets a fantastic run. Will he go left this time and try and make a move? He absolutely will. He'll pull himself alongside on the Sam Posey straight. There sees Ronald Moans, realises he's left the door open. Thank you very much. He moves into the race lead, but he'll try and attack the second half then of this corner, try and get as much drive as he can, but now he'll sit in a position where he can wait nicely. Number 23 is going to have to be a patient man.
Well, patience breeds patience, so he was patient with him, so he may just do the same thing and say, okay, we'll do this for a few laps, and then I'll just take it away from you as soon as the opportunity presents itself.
But you've got to remember that Patrick Alders is there and sitting patient too, has been watching these two at the front just be very, very sensitive and quiet. Oh, big issue there. That looks like that's Pieter Gossens and Michael Elliott there, the South African, getting caught up. Those two together coming out of turn 3, making a huge, huge issue of it. And I think that was more a case of Hossens trying to do with Sebastian, who went wide and got into the side of it.
Yeah, we'll see it here.
Pushing so fast.
Yeah, he's just trying to take too much. Yeah, caught the grass, across the side. Yeah, and then he got caught up in. Not sure who that was in the green car that got caught up in that.
That would have been Michael Elliott, who would have been the innocent bystander there. So the South African will not be best pleased with that incident going the way it does. It promotes up Patrick Cantrell into 6th, Melvin Tyne now 7th, Sandavara leads the group now in 8th place, which contains Tempest, Gross and Alexandre Longo, who is there. But at the front is where the race is right now, with Sampson, with Moans and with Alders, the Brit, the Belgian, and the Dutchman. Currently 1, 2, and 3 in 7 seconds, 7.5 seconds to the good of Miles Owens in 4th place. Martin Sampson now will be looking behind him, going, what can we do? And of course, the 118 there coming out of the pits as lap traffic, that is Pieter Gossens, who is there. And everything that's going to worry them is that drivers who do get caught up with an incident here, Robert, they're immediately back out in front of the leaders with the fast repair.
Yeah, good of him to pull off, knowing that's the leaders coming through for the battle. I thought Alders might have been able to take a little bit more advantage of that, but unfortunately he's dropped back out of this a little bit. But I think he'll get on it and he'll get back up there and as soon as those two start battling again.
Well, it's all about now who's got what, because the gap's opened up to 0.4 of a second. I tell you what, Martin Sampson's pushing right now as he heads in towards that west bend. He has got every bit of grit and determination in his back pocket. He's trying to do everything in his power to say, you know what, I need you two gone, shake it off the back of me. It's not happening the way he wants it to at the moment. He knows he's going to be in a race right until the checkered flag.
Yeah, he's using up every part of that track, kind of trying to carry as much speed as he can through every corner, trying to open up that gap to Moons, not giving him the opportunity to come back and take that position away from him. But Moons got through there. Ooh, a little bit touch of the grass. This might be his opening.
It might be, but it's very difficult through turn 2, turn 3. If you're not alongside the right-hander, this is where you've got to attack off the exit of the corners. And I tell you what, Sampson is more liberal to go through. And look at that! Try and get in the grass. Edward Gross to the inside of Sandavara. And that is a fantastic pass. Oh, it's a bit of argy-bargy between the Sweat and Spirit 14 drivers. They'll continue their scrap over towards the big left. Vara's going to try and hold this around the outside, and there's troubles there for Gross, who can't hold the line. What a save! What a defense!
Wow, what a battle by those two. Just a little bit of touch, a little bit, oh, you know what, here, I'll give you a bump. You just let me through. Nope, nope. It's good battling by them. Both held onto it and eventually got that position.
Moons trying to find the pass for the race lead with 6.5 minutes to go, trying to open it up, prise open the inside with a crowbar to try and take this race lead away. Martin Sampson having absolutely none of it as he maintains the hold.
Yeah, Sampson ends up with the preferred line into that left-hander, so he just was able to hold him off. But yeah, definitely a chance for Moose to get in front of them there, just could not take full advantage of it.
Couldn't quite manage it, couldn't quite find it. Up the hill, a little bit shaky there from Sampson. Ronald Moans absolutely able to claw this one back into play. And now they charge through what is now the West Bend, the downhill under the Haggerty Bridge, and over to the diving bend, which gives them a chance. 5:45 left on the clock. Who's going to be looking around at who, saying, I've got the magic formula, I've got the ticket that makes this race happen. On the brakes they go into the opening corner, and once more the Belgian will shadow. 19 versus 23. These drivers very similar in pace, looking for their places over at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, come December.
Yeah, and Alders he's gaining on him. He's just kind of can't seem to hold on to him through the first sector of the track, but he's been doing some gaining on him. And I think in the next few laps, you may see him right up there, putting himself in this battle.
I've just seen Laurent Sebastian clip the wall coming out of the West Bend, and he's actually dropped a position now to Melvin Tynes. So that brings him back down into 7th position now, and I'm not sure how much damage he has on the car. It looks like he's okay. No black and orange mechanical flag, but the Taramundi machine, you can see, look at a scraping on the left front and left rear. Yeah,
just barging his way through, doing everything he can to get that car through. Here it comes.
Looking for that move for the race lead. He's been searching and searching and searching. Sampson is going to try and hold this around the outside. If he can keep the overlap, he's got a chance at the inside then at turn 3. It's just a little bit clear at this moment. Moans takes the race lead and chops the door.
Yeah, he just could not get it to hold on there, and he had to let him go. But he's going to stay with him here, and this is his strong portion of the track where he got him last time, is up the hill and down west and on the way to the front straight down the hill.
I tell you what, Patrick Alders is probably the driver who has known winning the most out of these three. He has a Division 3 victory at Oran Park this year. He's looking to try and be the first driver to get not only a Division 3 win, but a Division 2 one to go along with it as well, as proof of his elevation of pace. But now Ronald Mones will realise, I'm back in the lead again. Martin Sampson's going to have to pick the moment if he wants to get it done on this Sam Posey straight. It's the only place really you feel that they're going to really try and make a move happen.
Oh, he went really deep in there, got a little bit of a wiggle trying to just get on the rear end of him for entry into this left-hander.
And this is big, and he takes two. Oh, there he goes! Martin Sampson goes! And just like that, his race in trouble, in jeopardy. He's got to try and save his podium now. Miles Owens won't be a million miles away. There he goes. He's lost the podium.
Oh, and the heat, just trying to push the car too hard, wanted that position back. Huge benefit for Alders for sitting back there and being patient. He's got himself into P2.
The issue he's got, and it's a 1.3 second issue at this moment in time. He's lost contact there, having to get on the binders because Ronald Mones is away. That is a battered number 73 out there of Armanula Bacchus, the South African, in all sorts of hurt at this point. It's going to take a little bit of traffic here for Alders to get himself back. The gap 1.1, 1.2. So you're going to have to really hope off the exit. And it is a bit of a compromise there for Mones off the exit there. That's going to bring Alders back to within almost a second.
Yeah, just the traffic's with these cars as well is it's very detrimental or it's very beneficial, one or the other. And unfortunately, he's just not catching the good part of it.
I tell you what, it's on as well. Back there for about 8th place at the moment. Oh, as Vara and Gross continue their race out there at this point. This is incredible between these two. And I'll tell you what, Vara's again going to try and make this happen around the outside. Oh, he's got so much confidence under braking, Robert.
Yeah, it just shows he knows what his car can do and just how hard he can get on the car and get where he wants to go. That's a driver that's been driving his car and saying, okay, this is where I can do it and this is where I cannot.
He's Mr. MX5 World Sim Series for a reason, and that reason is he can make moves like that and staying patient. Look out! Alexandre Longo, the Frenchman, trying to jump through Matt Tempest, who realised, oh, there's a whirlwind there that was trying to make its way through, and it very nearly happened.
Yeah, he's going to get a run on him down here in the Big Bend.
Well, if he is, this is going to be how he's going to do it. Gross around the outside, but much later on the brakes. Is it too late?
Too late.
He overshoots it. He'll lose 1 to Tempest as he goes through. And thank you very much. That place, very important. But I tell you what, Vara's going to fight back here at turn 3 and really try and open this back into play. And he's just about not going to be able to do it. He's stuck on the wrong side of the road, but he holds it around the outside. Brilliant stuff. He might have a chance here at this uphill.
Yeah, he's got to get a clean entry.
He's got it.
He's got it.
Oh, incredible. That's why he's inside the top 40 in the world, doing something like that. Ronald Mones has the race lead. He started on pole position. The virtual Bell car driver doing absolutely everything he can. The owner of the series now finds himself looking behind at Patrick Alders. That gap 7/10 of a second. There's only one thing that could possibly stop Ronald Mones, and that is Jojo Patrick in the 111 just in front of him, hoping that it's going to be a nice clean west bend to navigate through, and it is. Just the downhill section now to the diving turn. He has been a driver of fits and starts. Consistency has been king in terms of getting position 23 overall, but this will be a sweet, sweet victory for Ronald Mones, who will come to the line and will hold off Patrick Alders to take Division 2.
Yeah, and great for Patrick Alders. You know, he was patient. He went and just let them two do their thing, and he got rewarded with it, and he comes across the line in P2.
Melvin Tyne is going to hold on here. He's made the pass on the final lap here on Laurent Sebastian. There's nothing that Laurent can do with the damage of his car, so he's going to have to settle there for that 7th position. It's going to get busy behind, but Vara is going to hold off Tempest and Longo to the line. And just looking through the final stages of drivers, looks like everyone is going to try and make that charge. There is number 78 of Jose Gonzalez We saw the damage that he had early on. He's done very well to drive with that damage, and in fact, he may have actually come in, got a fast repair, and got that going again. Brilliant stuff from him to get that result. Let's take a look at those results, though, because number 23, Ronald Moans, was able to get the job done. 25 minutes, 10 seconds, wins by, in the end, 0.2 of a second over Patrick Alders, with Miles Owens finishing off in third. Martin Sampson's spin cost him massively. He was on for a fight for the victory. He ends up with 4th place, with Patrick Cantrell in 5th and Melvin Tyne in 6th position. Laurent Sebastian would finish ahead of Edward Gross, 7th and 8th places, with Sandavara leading a train behind him, first of which in that train, Matt Tempest.
Yeah, coming in 11th, Alexander Lagro and Bruno Albino. They really battled it up till the end in 12th. We got Roberto Bruno Fio in 13th, Michael Ellett in 14th, and bringing up 15th is Martin Smith with Jose Gonzalez in 16th. He's followed by Rodrigo Emmerich in 17th, Jojo Patrick in 18th, 1 lap down. Peter Gosens is 1 lap down in 19th, and Emmanuel Bacchus 1 lap down in 20th.
All these drivers 1 lap down or worse. Rene Zegelar found himself caught out. So too today, Luis Suarez, Alif Imran, and Tom Daly. You got the likes of Simon Robson, Christian Hinch finding himself in a bit of trouble. Tony Williamson and Stephen Orrell not taking the start then in the Dairy is Scary Racing Machine, as he found himself P29. We're going to step aside for one more moment, though, here, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, it is Division 1, and it's where the main players of the game are going to be. Who will chase down Jason Cooper, the championship leader? Find out after this. Division 2 proved to be a very, very tactical showcase. It came down to who could make mistakes and who didn't. One driver who didn't played the patient game today, getting second position in Division 2. Patrick Alders joins us right now. Patrick, How important was it for you, especially in the late phase of that race, just to stay patient, let the front two have their own race?
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, you said it right. That was basically the key. I just decided to stay behind the entire race, not attack too much, just try to keep up. And yeah, wait for them to either battle it out or make a mistake, which eventually happened. And well, in the end, I almost got Ronald with the guy who we had to overtake, but well, the finish came just a little bit too early.
Well, you ran out of road then in the end, but you gave it everything you possibly could. For you now, in terms of where you've been, you have a Division 3 win, you got a podium here in Division 2. Is it all the building blocks coming together to get you into that top 40 by the end of the season?
Yeah, it really is. I really put a lot of effort into my own performance. Been training a lot lately and just trying to smoothen my driving out. And well, I just have to get my seeding days sorted now. I could have been in Division 1 with the times I was driving earlier this week, but yeah, this is really important for the points in the long run. So yeah, very happy with this one.
Very happy with it. Before we let you go, Patrick, is there anybody you'd like to give a thanks to?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank Sanderware for organizing the entire thing. You guys, of course, for making an excellent broadcast over and over again. And yeah, overall, my teammates and the people who watched my Twitch stream again. Really, thanks for everything.
Patrick Adder's there joining us, getting the result that he wanted out there today, a position number 2 that he can very much be proud of. Let's take a look at the driver's standings then, heading into Lime Rock Park Classic then. Overall, as things go, Jason Cooper is in charge at the moment. He's got a 4-point lead only, though, over Fernando Ancali. And then the driver top 100 in the world, Ade Koba, finds himself in 3rd with Pablo Espes 4th. Machado Pagnan is 5th ahead of Vladislav Shopov, with Ronnie Mantignemi, Adam Delmont, Lars Fischer, and Joel Singleton rounding out the top 10 in the championship. All those positions important as they go through. But Robert, you look at that team's championship, it is a duel at the top.
Yeah, the Obsidian Racing with the 1696, but only 5-Star Motorport in second with only behind 127, and Negative Delta by Bullers only behind 275. It's still anybody's team. Team standings can change significantly. Everybody's in it really at this point, all the way down to, especially down to 10th place. But we've got Next Gen in 4th, GDD Racing in 5th, Blue Rose Team in 6th, Positive Delta Motorsport in 7th, Platinum Racing in 8th, Sweat Sim Racing in 9th, and pulling in the 10th is Optical Racing, only 590 behind, and there's still lots of racing to go.
There absolutely is a lot of racing. The Nations Cup, though, is very much in the hands of Spain. It is Spain versus United Kingdom, very similar to that of Obsidian, the Spanish team, versus a predominantly British team in the form of 5-Star Motorsport. So that's why you get the ins and outs there. The United States find themselves in 3rd, ahead of Bulgaria in 4th, and Bulgaria have themselves a close battle with Finland as they find themselves 5th. It's close, though, between Italy, the Netherlands, and Germany. They are 6th, 7th, and 8th, and don't count Brazil out in that. They find themselves 9th, and they are quickly making good progress. Portugal rounds out the top 10. They're a little bit further back in the Nations Cup, and they'll have a little bit of work to do to chase that all down. But this is where the big points are made and the big games are played. This is division number 1, and we talk about the points and why they're so important. The top 20 from seeding day here, Robert, get 20 points down to 1 point by being the best in that division, and that was currently scored by Ade Koba, best of them here at Lime Rock Park. He got the maximum 20 points.
And I'm sure he's going to be going for it again, knowing that he has the ability to do it. He's done it before. Now just sit back and do it one more time and just build that lead up.
Yeah, he certainly is. And he's on top at the moment in terms of qualifying, a 56.522. He's the fastest driver of them all. But you talk about what's important. You get an extra 10 points if you win the division race. So there's an extra 10 points in the back pocket if you can manage that. A pole position's worth 5 points on its own here in this session. And then on top of that, you boost the points to the fastest lap, which is 5 points here instead of the 2. And then the hard charger bonus, which is, again, 2 points. The person who makes the most places in the race is going to get an extra 2 points. There is Yuan Lin, the Chinese driver. He was going through, and Jameson Sampaio, father of Enzo, who was the race winner of Division 1 at Oran Park. He comes to the line with a 57 flat. That's good enough to jump to 18th position only. He's only half a second down.
Yeah, this is going to be a very tight field. You can see the times between them is not that far off. We're going to should see some really good battling, some really interesting overtakes.
Should be a scene. Felipe Senna will make his way over towards the line. He is out of laps though, so his lap will not count. The only driver who is on a lap right now is Yuan Lin in the 113, down in 23rd position. He's a specialist of the uncharacteristic cars, I would say, out there, but he does improve to 57.1, which means he jumps up a couple places and goes to 21st position overall in this race. That will bring us then to, for the final time tonight, the Simify starting grid, the title sponsor here for the MX5 World Sim Series. Simify is an online web shop housing a vast array of sim racing essentials for the next step in your virtual career. From steering wheels, seats, and handbrakes to even the common sim racing glove, Simify ships worldwide and is available to be seen both in English and in Espanol. Use discount code MX5WSS at checkout to receive a discount on your sim racing purchase by visiting www.simify.com today. The Spaniards are out in force here at Lakeville, Connecticut. Ade Koba has the pole position for Obsidian, but it's the Zenith Esports driver alongside Jaume Dalmases who will be there in second. Pablo Espes starts from third, and the championship leader goes from fourth, Jason Cooper. His main rival, Fernando Antoli, he's right behind him there in fifth place with Ronnie Mantignami in sixth. Joel Singleton will start seventh with Lars Fisher in eighth. Marcelo Peñan has not had much luck in the races, but has made great recoveries. That's why he starts ninth, and Trevor Roy rounds out the top 10.
Yeah, and in 11th, we've got Adam Delmont with Vladislav Shapov beside him in row 6. 13th, we've got Enzo Zampio and Adam McNally beside him in 14th. Oscar Puerta takes 15th and will start beside Yadano Spetsanov in 16th. Row 9 sees David Chapman and Jameson Sampio in 18th. And row 10 is Eugenio Plucci with David Morales in 20th.
Yeah, Pulici there doing okay in 19th. You got Yuan Lin 21st. Nuno Ferreira starts alongside him. Row 12 housing Felipe Senna and Stefan Alderding. Pedro Marimon, good qualifying by him today to get into Division 1. He's 25th with Ewan Bremer. Ari Haro and Ishmael Lamela make up the 28th row, or the 28th driver out there, the 14th row of the grid, and they are all scoring big points today by being in that top view. That's a look from right on at the back, looking down forward through the field. You have got to be so switched on to every single driver who is there in front, and it is going to be a patience game. The Obsidian machine that has been so good up at the front has been vital to the charges of Antoli and Koba and Pablo Espes, and they're all trying to score as many points as they can, because however they finish in this championship is the way they will line up for the world final over at the WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca in December. That is the all-important race. They are trying to get themselves through the top 40. Those drivers at the front, they want the best grid slot possible for it, and as such, they're going to race with everything that they've got. We'll wait for Jaume Dalmases to line up on the front row. He's got 15 seconds or he'll start from pit lane, and he does jump up onto the grid right now, which means everybody is set. 25 minutes to decide it. It's the second half of the season. Green flag at Lime Rock Park. Let's get ourselves underway. A huge amount of wheel spin off the front from Dalmases. They'll look to full single file, almost all of them here as they go through. Jason Cooper covers it off in the 5-star motorsport car. He has to look behind him because Fernando Antoli is going to be his main challenger. Try and go around the outside, a bit of 3 wide in the middle as they go through the opening section. But Ade Koba clear as we now head ourselves through the left.
Yeah, good, really aggressive start, really good clean start by everybody. Not a lot of drama, lots of battling, but nothing to be concerned with as they make their way to No Name Straight, and they're going to come up through here and come up and take these cars over this hill into Big Bend, down into the downhill.
Well, they've got to make everything happen, and they've got to go through this uphill section nice and cleanly, and everybody does, forming single file as they all charge through. Right now, Koba leads down Masses, then it's Espes. Following that, Cooper, Antley, Mantignami, Joel Singleton, Lars Fisher, Marcelo Pinan's got a little bit of work to do. Enzo Sampaio goes drifting in the background. Everybody's pushing. David Chapman there in the year one racing car pushes out to the outside as well as he goes through. But everybody managing it through that opening section. They're going to push the limits right to the very top. And there is Chapman trying to deal with one of the Sim Hub cars there. That's the 117 of Felipe Senna that he makes the move on.
Yeah, everybody pushing it through that downhill. A lot of cars got an off track, got really good. We're able to hold on to it, get the car back on track. Hopefully everybody will settle down for the next lap, and we'll see where they go from there.
They are all elite wheelers out there at this point. Lars Fischer having to really defend at this moment in time. The German has his mirrors full at this point of Joel Singleton, who he's made the pass on this lap. So he's managed to jump up a position, but very quickly he's found out he loses time 3 wide down the hill, and the GTD racing car finds itself in a bit of trouble. It goes spearing off into the grass.
Oh, and he's lost a ton of positions there from going so wide. They're all pushing just so hard at the start of this race, trying to grab as many positions as they can. And unfortunately, it's not paying off for them.
That's Trevor Roy, who's dropped down. Mantignami there, and there's a car off at turn 1. Let's take a look at this then on the GSRC replay. The push there on the inside by Svetanov to get to the inside, and suddenly everyone has to make some room, and there's no room left there for Trevor Roy, who just gets pushed out wide. Does very well not to grab the tyres there on the outside. His race continues out then at this point with the top 10 split currently by 3.7 seconds over the line. And then you can see there was a car that outbroke itself at turn 1, and then another one that outbroke itself, which I think was a bit of karmic justice there as Svetanov, I believe it was, who found himself off the road. It is a 6-pack challenge at the front of the field right now. Mantignami on the back of it. These 6 are trying to go through. Ade Koba briefly takes the fastest lap. That's taken away by the championship leader.
Yeah, they're all just pushing so hard here. They want this. They want to be up front. They want to get the best finish they can, and they want to do it quickly and be comfortable for the rest of the race. And they're just trying. Some of them are pushing so hard, the car is not cooperating with them.
The car is certainly not. Ade Koba has had a race win. Jaume Dalmases hasn't. Pablo Espes hasn't. Cooper has. He had a crazy win at VIR. Fernando Antoli found himself in the mix there as they went through. Mantignami looking for his first race victory of the season as well. It has been pretty much a case of 5 different races, 5 different winners, and pushing very wide there in 3rd position. Pablo Espes really getting it out of shape. And in the background as well, trying to save it, the Blue Rose team car, and Mantignami almost finding himself in troubles. There goes Jason Cooper straight to the inside. He wasn't going to wait for love nor money nor a ticket. He goes through. He's up into 3rd.
Yeah, it is. Espes and Antilio, their little tangle with teammates probably cost them. They probably could have worked a little bit better together to keep that car behind them. But Cooper was up, takes the 3rd from them.
They're going to have to work hard. They dropped 7/10 of a second to the top 2. Ade Koba waits for no one. He's a top 100 driver in the world by iRacing. He's in the 9,000 club, which is the top 1% of iRacers out there. So he is elite when he comes to his driving. You look at the group that's in and around him right now. Jaume Dalmases for Zenith Esport. He's really trying to prove that he is worth it. He was 3rd when it came to racing last time out. He was sat on the outside looking in. Now he's given himself a real chance here today to go and fight for that victory. As here comes Espes straight back here at Jason Cooper. He's going to say, you know what? I'm just going to go for it here on the inside. But Cooper holds it around the outside. He'll have the inside for the NASCAR left of turn 3. And he's going to get that one fantastically sorted. Car 4's got nothing on car 1.
No, he gave him a little bump there, and I'm sure he's not happy about that. But yeah, really tight racing. Just, no, you're not getting it from me. I took it from you. It's not coming back.
Not happening there. Mantiniemi behind, thinks about a move on Fernando Antley, thinks better of it into the West Bend. The Finn, very much a patient finish driver. There is the Blue Rose team waiting in the wings, and very nearly they're going to get some help in a moment, because that's Lars Fischer, who's very much reeling in who he needs to. That gap, half a second or so. He's done very well to keep this group in check. And remember that this is all about the top 12 at this point, because that second group is only 1 second off of that of Lars Fischer at this point, and that goes all the way back to the two Adams of Next Gen Racing, Delmont and McNally.
Yeah, they're all going to have to stand on it pretty hard here. Like we said, if you look at the qualifying, it's a really tight field. So if you're going to make a mistake, no matter how slight that mistake is, you're going to set yourself up to lose anywhere from 1 to 2 positions, maybe even more.
You could lose so much time, you could lose so many places, and the top 2 might just be breaking away. They're working fantastically. It's 1.1 seconds. Cooper grabs the curb. It pushes wide a little bit Pablo Espes as they go through. There was Jaime Dalmasas in second. You can sense how much Jason Cooper is trying to mitigate everyone around him. Only has a 4-point lead. Fischer goes a little bit wide there in the background, but the top 2 clear, and at 1.1 seconds, you have a chance to hold that draft. It's about 1.5 where it absolutely snaps, and this is the key here for Jason Cooper. Can't afford to allow those 2 Obsidian cars to harass. They want Ade Koba, who leads this race, to get away.
Yeah, they're keeping him right on top of the steering wheel, and he I'm sure he wants to chase those top 2 cars down and get into that battle. But right now he's got his mirrors full of Espes and Antonio, and he has to keep his head up.
He absolutely does. The 5 race winners in Division 1 this season: Ade Cobra, Okayama. Silverstone National was Fernando Antley. Jason Cooper took VIR. Oran Park, Enzo Sampaio. And then the Pulpo, Pablo Lopez, took it at Charlotte. Lime Rock Park, a very interesting story now will be told. It could be a case of the first 2-time winner. It could be a case of something very, very different at this point in time in regards to that. But now as they head through the opening corners once again, Ade Koba with that margin, housing Dalmasas at this point, and Jason Cooper just doing enough. They are shaking that group 3rd, 4th and 5th though here, Robert, away from Ronnie Mantiniemi, as Jameson Sampaio looks like he dropped down the order a couple spots.
Yeah, Dalmas is just holding on to his own, just saying, you know what, I'm just going to hold on to you. Let's clear the wind for us. Let's get up. We'll battle this out between the 2 of us after. You got to replay.
Yeah, so this will be what's happened to Jameson Sampaio, who's now back in 14th position, really having a race here with one of the 5-star motorsport cars. That's Yuanxi Lin, who's made some great progress off of the start, and Yuanxi absolutely leading here. Brazil versus China, as they now looked at that point in time to go through. Cooper, by the way, has just clipped all out the final corner, so we'll need to go and look at that in a moment. So that was the move that got it done, but Jason Cooper's now back into 5th. He's clipped all out the final corner. There's the damage seed. Another look, Robert. This is how it happens. Final corner, pushing so hard to stay within range of that group. He just bounces over the curb, and as he gets the grass, he gets a big tank slapper out there, bang, into the wall.
Yeah, I just caught a little bit of the inside curb there, just sent him way too wide. He caught the grass, and then at those speeds, there's nothing you can do but just pray the car's going to get back out on the track, and unfortunately clips part of that wall.
Well, he knows he can't afford to slow down, so he's keeping his foot down there in the grass, which is daredevil speak for you're asking for trouble. And well, he got his receipt for trouble out there at that point. It brings Espes now to 3rd, Antley into 4th. It's a Spain 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment in this race, and they're forming tandems. It's 2 groups of 2.
Yeah, but I think those 2 behind will probably catch them up pretty well. I mean, if you look at this from a team standpoint, Koba may even just say, okay, let's settle this down a little bit, bring his teammates in, and then go to just really open it up.
We've seen the Obsidian cars try and race against each other before. It's not as if it's out of the realms of possibility. Jaime Dalmasas for Zenith Esports is very much not going to sit around and wait forever. He definitely wants a chance. He definitely wants a go. He definitely wants to put Adekoba in a bit of trouble, and he pushes again right out to the limits, going through West Bend, now through the diving turn again. Jaume Dalmases is happy to sit patient, is happy to wait, and is happy to think about the long game in this race. Defensive line taken for the first time by Adekoba. That shows Jaume Dalmases has an advantage.
Yeah, he knows he's gonna have to fight him. He knows he's gonna have to start blocking him. Dalmases is getting impatient, saying, "I've followed you enough. I'm tired of looking at your rear end." And Koba's got to go defensive here because Dalmases is going to take him as soon as he has the opportunity to.
Well, I think he's going to be very patient about it, and he is bringing that gap down. It's now 1 second. Every time that Dalmases waits, there's more chance that Antley and Espes, who are driving at 100% right now, are going to try and push. Look at that, right up to the wall. When Fernando Antley trying to chase this down, trying to get as much of a margin as he can in terms of points to chase down the gap of 4 at the top to Jason Cooper for the championship overall. Remember the 10 points that Adekoba could get if he wins this race. Those could be massive between now and the end of this season. The Obsidian Racing driver knows best 7 of 10 counts. He'd love a second victory to go into his resume as they go through 1 and 2, the Big Bend.
Yeah, and Dalmases is just keeping his mirrors full of them, and you can see it's, that's what you try and do. You just say, okay, I'll follow you, but I'm going to make you nervous here. I'm going to make you nervous there, and he's going to trying to force him into it, just that smallest mistake.
Yeah, we are, and I tell you what, Adam Delmont will be looking behind him, thinking it's getting a bit spicy. Marcelo Pagnan, who is no slouch for Movano, finds himself then with Adam McNally there, and really trying to race with the Toon Boy from Newcastle upon Tyne in England. Not going to quite get his chance yet. Here's McNally, but he'll be hoping for it. Off the road there. That's Enzo Sampaio finding a mistake out there on circuit. That's going to really reel in Delmont. There's no way now he can catch Joel Singleton. And there for the race lead, again, defensive line taken. Adekoba, they are really ratcheting the screw at halfway. Jaume Dalmases has been patient for so long, he might start to get aggressive.
Yeah, he's been picking it up the last couple laps here. I think he's had enough. He doesn't want to be behind Koba anymore. He wants that top spot, and he's just tired of looking at his rear end.
Jaume Dalmases had pole at Okayami, threw it off the road at turn 1 there. He has the pace. He has shown time and again that he's got the pace, but he's never been able so far this season to convert that into victory. Will he be able to do so today against Adekoba, one of the legends of sim racing out there, drove in the legendary Iberica team of 2016, of 2017, and was someone who absolutely could have been someone right at the very top, but found himself in the era of Martin Kroenke and Gregor Hutu at World Championship level. They dived through the opening corner. It's 4 again at the front, and Cooper is still trying to hold on at 9/10 of a second off of Pablo Espes. It's not over for those drivers in 5th and 6th.
Yeah, there's battles all over the track. Nobody's giving up. Nobody wants to lose a position, and they all want to gain a position. But right now, Dalmases Koba's pushing the limits. He's really, really opening that car up. He's went defensive right out of the downhill. Said, no, I don't want you behind me. I'm not giving you any advantage. He's really trying to keep Dalmases behind him at this point.
Trying to reel in the group, and that is the key. Antley and Espes are there and are very much going to be key components to how this race goes for Jaume Dalmases. A move over to the right-hand side takes the line. You're only allowed 1 move back to the racing line to take the natural line from Adekoba. That's all fair and game as they go through 1 and 2. Jaume Dalmases is going to have to be picture perfect if he's going to pick this move up. They take a very shallow line through the left-hander, so that doesn't become an overtaking opportunity.
Yeah, you saw him trying to get in it there, and the rear end just wasn't holding on for him, and he had to get out of it.
Yeah, and because of that, it's going to be all about patience. Wait a little, wait a little, wait a little. Up over the hill, nothing there. You're going to have to wait again through this West Bend right-hander. 90 or 80 degrees of right, trying to hold the power. Now down the hill. Do you have enough of a run taking this fast right-hander, a little bit of curve. Can you drag everything you can out of it? Defensive line again taken then by Adekova. This is where Dalmas is going to have to make this move here. He'll move to the outside to try and get it done. Behind as well, Espes and Anthony started to think about it. He's almost going to push him through the corner here. Dalmas is desperate.
Yeah, it looked like it. I thought he might have given him a little shove there, just saying, you know what, I'm letting you know I've had enough. He really good, respectful driving by him, just to back off a little bit and say, okay, you know what, I'll give you another one. But I don't think he's going to be sitting where he is for much longer, because he's got mirrors full of Antolio and Espes, and he doesn't want them in this mix.
No, he really doesn't, and soon he might not want the Blue Rose team sandwich, which is made up of 5-star motorsport bread behind. Cooper, Mantignemi and Fisher could bring themselves back into play then. Through the West Bend once again, time starting to run out. They're under 9 minutes now here in this race. Every position is going to start mattering. Every move, every juxtaposed attempt to make a pass is going to be key. And moving as late as possible over to that outside. Oh, big lunge to the inside. Oh, that's a big effort by Fernando Antley. He's still trying to prise it open. He can't get it.
Brave move to come in there that deep on him, but yeah, just couldn't hold on to it. But now he's on his bumper, and we've got 4 cars in the battle for 1, 2, 3 for sure.
We absolutely do. It could still be 7 if they're not careful. The secondary group is Enzo Sampaio back as they charge Vladislav Shopov's group as well, looking to try and make some places. It's segmented its pack racing here today. Big defensive line taken by Dalmas as he's having to defend now from Fernando Antley, number 2 in the championship, who desperately would love some places, has been so consistent all season long. They rush through that diving turn, and I think it's Antley this time who might have the run here, and Dalmas is stuck in no man's land. He doesn't know whether to follow the draft or not as he heads towards that big bend through at turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, he's got his hands full, and when you're working with teammates, there's a good chance there's communication between them. So he's got to be thinking about what are they talking about, what are they planning on doing. He just wants to keep the car clean and get that car out front. Looks like he's got a little bit of nose damage there too.
Yeah, that nose damage is not going to be helping. It looks like there was troubles on that last lap for David Chapman. He had a spin. That's why he's dropped down the order. But at the moment, there he is. He's racing out there with the likes of, I believe that's Ishmael Lamella. Sorry, not Lamella. That would be Pedro Marimon. That's troubles there. It's like that's Joel Singleton. Sorry, that's Singleton, 10th in the championship. On his own. Big dramas behind him. That would have been with Sampaio and co as they went through the early stages of the lap. But this, on your own, Joel Singleton, lapse of concentration.
Yeah, just let the car go way too wide there. Got the grass, and you catch the grass there at that speed, you're going to sail out of the wall pretty quickly.
6.5 minutes for Ade Koba to hold. This has been a pressure cooker race for him. Jaume Dalmases has not let him rest one bit here in this one. With Antley and Espes, the rear gunners, the group now consists of 7. Jason Cooper has got there with Ronnie Mantignemi and Lars Fischer. Wait for me on the back. He's trying to stay with it. 0.7 of a second. They've got away from Delmont, Pagnan, McNally, and Enzo Sampaio back in 11th after the contact we saw in the background of what happened to Joel Singleton. This group of 7, one of them is going to come out a victor, and there are going to be 6 people who are going to be crying by the riverbank.
Oh, Koba is just blocking as much as he can, and Dalmas is this time a little bit of a bump. Says, okay, I've had about enough of this. Give him a little shove and see if he can get him off his game a little bit and get around him.
Elbows now are out there, racing around the outside. Pablo Espes doesn't want to play 4th wheel at this point. He knows what he wants. He wants 3rd. He wants to get by Fernando Antley as quick as possible. So that's on his list. Dalmases again will have to play the patience card as they crest up the uphill. They take that little bit of air. The wheel will go light on you as you go through that section. Dalmases will again have to be careful as he looks behind, because Fernando Antley is lightning in a bottle when he chooses to be.
Yeah, and again, Cooper's closed the gap, and so does Mantiana to get himself involved in this. So yeah, we can definitely see, we've seen a little bit of everything today. We've seen cars that were right up front end up in fifth and sixth. We've seen
Oh,
cars
here we
just
go,
tangle
big
too
move.
much. Whoa!
That was about as close as you could get it there. Anthony was
What an
forcing the hand
outside
down
move.
Masses. It is either attack or be attacked in this group with 4 3/4 to go.
Yeah, they're not holding anything back now. They're on it. They're like, we don't have many more laps here.
Here goes the move.
And here's go.
This is it. This is where Dalmas is going to have to make it happen here. He's going to dive for the inside of the uphill and get it done on Ade Koba. Leaves just enough room, and Anthony might try and thread the middle. They've just not left enough room there. Dalmas is still on the inside, trying to take this race lead away. Ade Koba never saying die as he goes through the downhill. Can they go through it? A bit of contact between the two. Dalmas leads.
And Koba gets into the grass, but he hangs on to it. And then
oh my goodness me, we nearly had dramas. 2 wide Coopers pushing down Masses here if they go through, round the outside, then searching for the race lead. It's Fernando Antley, but Dalmases is still trying to say no. This is all breaking out now, and Antley pushes a little bit wide, Dalmases holds.
yeah, nobody's holding back now. They're all bumper to bumper, and everybody says, okay, teammate, I want to be up front, and they are going at it here. They're not afraid to go too wide through every single corner.
A lap ago, Ade Koba was leading this race. He's now in 5th place and finds himself 1.3 seconds down on this lead. What has happened for him in terms of this one? Fernando Antley now senses it is Zenith at the top right now. It's Jaume Dalmases. It's Espes behind him in 3rd. It is Jason Cooper in 4th. How are you going to relay this with 3 minutes to go? Dalmases is going to have to put his best blocking boots on, as now here closes Fernando Antley. Defensive line taken then by Dalmases, trying to pivot for the inside. It's not quite there.
Yeah, and they're going to come up to the little bit of traffic here that you can see the car up in the front there. That could really affect how this is going to go, depending on where that car is and where they catch him.
Where they catch that car in front, that is Nuno Ferreira that they will be catching the 1, 2, 4. There'll be a huge train of 7 cars which screams GOTW. Get out the way as they now crest the right for what will be the 3rd to last time in this race. There is your championship leader. Jason Cooper will be desperate to get one more position, especially with the damage to the left-hand side of his car. He is just hoping that he's got enough of a run coming towards those final couple of laps. Anthony with a pretty good run here, and it's going to force down Masses all the way to the pit wall side here, the right-hand side to defend it. Anthony's going to have to go to the outside, tries to pinch him, tries to take as much road as he can. Big trail break into turn 1. Can he get it around the outside of Dalmases? No, Dalmases covers again.
Oh, just so brave on the braking there. You just, it's just unbelievable that Dalmases held him off there.
Tell you what, Dalmases is doing everything right. Anthony is throwing everything he's possibly got. He is ragging that Miata as much as possible. There is not much more that Fernando can do to make that pass. He is very much stuck at this point and knows that he's got 2 laps to try and find it, and any one wrong move and the pack will swarm like hungry sharks.
Yeah, and he's got 2 laps to make this, and they are going to catch a lapped car. So it's all going to depend on that lapped car, whether or not he's going to get out of the way nicely. And again, where they catch him. 2 laps to go. They're probably going to catch him on the final lap coming down the hill.
Oh, there's the contact. Anthony gets shoved out, and Pablo Espes now will take command as they go through turn 2. And I tell you what, a little bit of a break in the middle of the corner, and suddenly Dalmases has freed himself up a car length and a half here. That means that Espes has to chase down. This is huge.
Yeah, especially through this section. If you've got that gap, you can open that gap up if you get a good run down through. And he's opening that gap up as much as he can right now.
He absolutely is, and Pablo Espes, suddenly he realizes, we gotta go. We're running out of time. Look at that clock, under half a minute. There'll only be 1 lap left after this, and Dalmases is clear by half a second. And that's all down to understeer for Pablo Espes. Have they been playing with each other too much here? Have they been trying to game the system too much? Has this Obsidian team, big slide out into the grass for Ade Koba. Last lap goes through. They're starting to fight amongst each other now. Here comes the look then. Anthony's trying to get back here at Pablo Espes for second position. It's not happening though through turn 1. It's not happening through turn 2. You're going to have to be brave now and do it in a place that you don't necessarily quite find it. Jason Cooper with the perfect damage limitation to Fernando Antoli at this point. He's in 4th, Antoli in 3rd. Everything that you could want and then some at this point. Espes holding the weight of the world behind because the weight of what is forward in front of him, that's gone. That's out the way. That's down the road. Now you're going to have to try and start searching. Defenses now starting to happen towards West Bend with just 2 corners to go. You've got to be at the zenith of your game to win here in the Simify MX5 World Sim Series, and Jaume Dalmases is proving it again and again. He will be the 6th different race winner this season, and this season is so unpredictable. Dalmases wins.
Yeah, great drive by Dalmases. He was very patient. He played the patience game for as much of the race as he could, but once he got that car up in the front, unfortunate for Koba, things got tied up the way they did, but definitely outstanding driving by all these racers.
Trevor Roy, he was just a corner away from the end of this race, and that car is broken. Look at that, the front suspension's completely caved in. He will be classified a lap down as a non-finish. What a real shame for him, Robert.
Yeah, it's detrimental. It really hurts when you're just got to get across the finish line, and unfortunately you can't make it.
Wow. Jaume Dalmases, that is a burden off his back. Number 17 has been shown time and again to get close and close and close, and finally he will taste champagne up the top of the podium. A brilliant result for him. We're going to step aside for just one moment though here with the Global Sim Racing Channel. Post-race coverage coming to you after this. Six in 6. You had to hold back the masses behind you. Jaume Dalmases, a big 25 minutes and 47 seconds worth of driving. It's Pablo Espes who will take second, and Fernando Antoli who ends up in third after the Obsidian drivers decided to start racing against each other, knowing that victory was a little bit out of reach. Jason Cooper, his tap with the wall, probably cost him a shot of victory here today, but was able to manage to get 4th place with Ade Koba in 5th and Ronnie Mantiniemi ending up in 6th position overall. Lars Fischer would finish 7th, and the second group would get a little bit dicey as well. Adam Delmont would finish 8th ahead of Marcelo Pagnan and Adam McNally rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, 11th we have Vladislav Shavov, and they've been battling with Jemison Sampaio, Enzo Sampaio, and Unilix Lin, all very close, all the way up to the end. With Adriano Palucci in 15th, David Morales in 16th, Oscar Puadaz in 17th, and Felipe Senna in 18th. Ewan Brenner is another group, finishes in 19th, with Eero Haro in 20th.
Over the page, 21st for Stefan Olverding. David Chapman not quite having the day he wanted. He falls back to 22nd. Raced about in the latter stages with Pedro Marimon in 23rd. Jordan Svetinov won't get much out of today, but he's still well inside the top 40. Gets a 24th place finish there overall. Nuno Ferreira, Trevor Roy will be classified 1 lap down. Not a good day for GTD. Joel Singleton as well, finding a retirement from this race. And Ishmael Lamella not making it very far at all off of the start of this race. He found himself as a retirement. We're going to take a chance to talk to a couple of drivers out there and a couple of organisers. First and foremost, though, the Toonside boy, Adam McNally, joins us from Next Gen Racing. Adam, looked like that second group for you. Just couldn't stay with the front group, but you had your own big race. Marcelo Pignan, no slouch. Of course, you had Enzo Sampaio there for a moment. Talk us through your racing.
Unbelievable. Absolute insane racing, especially for just to get into the top 10. I mean, the pace was insane. The draft didn't really matter because the car in front had draft and then the car in front. And getting the move was just so hard. Marcelo was just giving us enough room all the time, but so I couldn't try to go around the outside because I would just go off the track. But great racing, really enjoyed it.
And you talk about the racing every single week. You're trying to get into that top 30. You're trying to get into the top division. You're trying to get yourself that chance to go out there and race. And when you're racing with some of these drivers who are out there and they're proving themselves to be the best in Italy, the best in Spain, the best that the United Kingdom has to offer, this World Sim Series, for a first time that the World Sim Series is running forward, is this what you could have possibly asked for and then some, Adam?
I mean, the pace from especially the lads in front, like Cooper and that. I know it's only a few tenths and that, but where to find it from is just another level. And I mean, the work Sanders done putting this event on is absolutely incredible. It's worked out to be a great series.
Well, you're looking more and more likely to put yourself in for Laguna Seca over at the end of the season, but your focus will turn to next month. It will turn to Alton Park without any chicanes on it. It's a little bit different to Lime Rock Park. You've got chances to overtake heading towards the likes of Knickerbrook Corner.
Yeah, hopefully. We had to put some practice in because, like I said, it's so close times here, even in the qualifying for Division 1, 2 and 3. I mean, you could have a bad lap and that's it. You could be Division 3, drop a lot of points. So just have to prepare as much as we can. And Laguna Seca, I don't even want to think about that. It's my biggest bogey track ever.
Oh, well, you would be really disappointed that they changed it to Laguna Seca for the World Final. But, Adam, before we let you go, the floor is yours for anyone you'd like to thank.
Yeah, I just thank everyone that does the work behind the scenes, used for doing the broadcast, and all the lads that take part. It's been mega so far, and I hope to keep it going.
Adam McNally there, humble as ever, getting himself a top 10 finish and continuing his charge in and around the top 10 of the championship overall. We're going to take this chance to talk with the series organizer here, Sander Vara, who's here with us. Sander, first of all, your racing was incredible today. The way you were able to hold it around the outside in Division 2 was something incredible. But talk us through 6 different race winners in 6 different races. You're going to have asked for a better series.
Yes. It's pretty incredible. I think we did in total 17 races because in Virginia we did only 2 divisions. So that's 17 different winners in all of them because no one repeated. And yeah, it's amazing. When I saw Division 1 today, I thought, okay, this streak is going to be broken by Ade, but in the end it didn't. So yeah, amazing. It's been only 6 races, but has been quite a ride so far.
When you consider that these drivers now are going to start thinking about, okay, drop rounds are going to start being added in, you're looking around and thinking, well, okay, now it's a case of those drivers who maybe haven't been here all the time, like Pablo Lopez, for example, is going to need to start finding himself to show up and score points. That top 40 bracket for those drivers who want to put themselves in the world final, just how close do you think that's going to get by the end of the season? Because there's going to be some drivers who are going to have some tears because they're not there.
Yes, I think it's really depending now on some of the top drivers fully committing to the series or not, because for example, Pablo Lopez, Morgan Burkhardt, Andres Prieto, who's also missed a couple. These guys, they will be in the top 40 if they do the last 4 races, for sure. But yeah, if they miss another one, then they are going to have problems, because then drivers like myself maybe might just edge into that top 40. Although I think I will be dropped in the end, but which is probably best. But yeah, these guys, they are definitely quick enough to be in there. But of course, yeah, then you also have to try to show up, and yeah, not everyone always have the time, so it's a bit unclear what will happen. But at least I think the top 25 to 30 will all be amazing drivers.
And just talk about what you're planning on doing then with the series heading over to Alton Park in a month's time, of course. There's always a lot of news month to month, new drivers jumping in. Everybody's looking to try and get themselves into this sort of series. Of course, there is the news for 2024 as well, that you've got the 2 series that are out there. Of course, the World Sim Series, and then, of course, what is very similar to what happened in 2022 with that essential free cup that you've got.
Yeah, it's still a little bit unclear of how many people will join up for each cup. So also, you know, you have to have enough people joining to really to make it all happen. But the idea is to do. I did a little bit of a poll in the group if people would like to have more epic tracks maybe on the league, on the series. And yeah, mainly I think about 75% of people said they would like that. So that's why we change next year a little bit the philosophy of having only subscription-based content. But we also still keep it in the club cup format. So people who don't want to invest so much in iRacing also still have a place, and they also can still qualify for the World Final. So that's why there are two separate MX5 World Sim Series, more or less. One being the big one, and the other one is the Club Cup, which is still probably very, very competitive also. So that's the reasoning behind that. And yeah, we have made some choices on tracks, and I think it's pretty interesting schedules, pretty interesting calendar for next year.
I think it is as well. Sander, the floor is yours. Anything you'd like to shout out, talk about? The floor is yours here as we let you go with what has been another incredible night of racing here with the Simify MX5 World Sim Series.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you guys. You do a fantastic job. I think it's out of this world commentary. It's really, really good broadcasting. It's fantastic cameras. It's everything. I really want to congratulate you all on that. Also thank the series sponsor, Simify. They are quite a new company in sim racing, based in Spain, but really working internationally, in a fantastic group of people. If you haven't seen the website yet, I really recommend going there to simify.com, and evidently also use the discount code MX5 WSS, but mainly just great people supporting this new series. And I want to thank all the drivers involved. I watched the Division 1 race, and it was so clean, it was so close, everyone was on a knife's edge, but they were so respectful, and I think that is also, you know, that also comes with being a top driver, being respectful. And I know in my race, in the battles that I have, they weren't as clean as they could have been or should have been, as I'm just some levels below that. But yeah, mainly it's just great to organize. The response I get is really positive. I think everyone is having a good time, and there's always some people who are not completely happy with the format, or not they don't fit in, and that's also normal in a series like this. I think there will always be a little bit of drop off, But well, we're now into race 6, and we still have 90 drivers turning up. Hopefully, next race in Alton Park, which will be the no chicanes version. Hopefully, we also have a big turnout, and there's still new people turning up also. So everyone is welcome to join. It will probably be difficult to reach the top 40 if you join now, but still, then you will be having a good preparation for next year.
Well, preparation is key. Sandavara there joining us, the organizer, of course, of the Simify MX5 World Sim Series. But that is just about going to put it in the books for all of us here, ladies and gentlemen. And that was incredible from top to bottom. I want to give a massive thanks to the team here today, from Robert, from Joe, and from Dougie. Make sure to check out our social media, our website, and our merchandise store, gsrc.storenvy.com, and you can find all the links in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, so you don't miss a moment here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Our next race is July 30th. It is Alton Park. It is 4 p.m. Eastern once again that you want to jump on for that. It's incredible what this series is able to produce. All of our other stuff here on the Global SimRacing Channel is listed across your screen as it stands. What's coming up next for us is the RTA Virtual Motorsport GR86 series. It's the Grand West layout of VIR. Join us 4 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday for that, the 27th. That will be some amazing racing on top of that. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you at Alton Park.